Welcome, everybody. It's Stefan Rudolph here with New Foundations Growth Group. And thanks for coming back again. We've had some great interviews here with health and wellness people, coaches, life coaches, nutritionists, and we have another great person to come on here, Faith Shevlin, and we wanted to welcome her to our podcast here. We're going to be going over the mind-body connection and working on food cravings. She's going to be telling us about her business and what she's doing for people. So welcome, Faith.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, tell us and our listeners out here, basically, New Foundations Growth Group is bringing all the best coaches and mind-body people like yourself together to help with taking our body and our nutrition to the next level. And I know you've been working with a lot of people over the years. So I wanted to get a little bit of feedback for our listeners about your business and what you do for people.
Sure. So I really work with mostly women on their relationship with food, their bodies, and health. And I see those three areas as really a doorway to transformation. So a lot of people are living in this place of needing to find the right diet or the perfect diet or fix this about them or change this. And then often there's and then I will, right? Blank, either go after the job, the relationship, then I'll be happy. You can basically fill in the blank with anything. So I'm helping women to really transform their relationship with food or health to really help them reclaim their power and know that anything that they want in their life is available to them now, and that there's really nothing to fix or change, and that there's nothing wrong. So the work is so much in the relationship with the body or health and food, and then also using that as like a messenger to kind of diving deeper into their life and what needs to be looked at or shifted or doing the inner work. Ultimately, I see that as the doorway.
Exactly. And I've gone through that myself personally, and I know others in my family and friends that have gone through that whether it's hard relationships, something at work, we tend to find ourselves eating more or escaping more. Some do it through alcohol or drugs, but a lot of us do it without even knowing it, right? Through food and the craving we have. And that's why I brought you on board. You've been very helpful for me, and your website and everything else has been helpful too. So let's say I'm going through a breakup in a relationship, and someone comes to you like me, or of course you work with women, but she's going through a breakup. What are you going to do? What are the steps and the process that goes on in starting?
With a breakup and how that relates to?
Yeah, like just and breaking the cravings, like, or if someone's turning to food all the time as an escape, and somebody's going through mainly an addiction of just trying to escape through food, and they say, help me, I've gained 15, 20 pounds. I need to stop this and I need to stop escaping. What would be the process, or how would you help them?
Yeah. So first it's willing to look at what's going on, right? So there was the trigger, which was the breakup, right? So the cover up, what I like to call the cover up is using the food to numb the emotions or the beliefs or the experience that is there that she doesn't want to feel through that. So whatever that breakup brought up for her. Right. And so that's what people do, is they go for food just to numb out, because it's too scary to kind of deal with what's there. So the food serves as this temporary solution or fix in the moment. And then after that doesn't work, obviously. And then normally kind of like the cycle goes after that, there's usually a lot of shame around that. Yeah. Because it becomes a pattern, a coping mechanism. So I would back that process up and really support her in the breakup and the emotions. I mean, as a culture, we don't want to feel our emotions. We don't want to feel sad. So we're looking for anything we can to avoid that. We want to avoid pain. So a lot of it would be using tools to support her in working through that. So there's the emotions of that current experience. And then we would dive deeper and look into what is her relationship like with men? What beliefs does she have about love and relationships? What was her relationship like with her father? So we would kind of dig into the layers and see what's there. So a lot of it, there's a lot of different processes that I do with clients and supporting them, looking at the beliefs. EFT tapping is one of my main modalities where you can. I love that. Yeah, it can help you move through those emotions a little bit quicker, and then get down to the beliefs. Because ultimately it's about what we believe about ourselves and
Mhm.
life and others. It all comes from there. Our emotions are coming from what we believe.
Yeah. And tell our listeners about EFT a little bit. I know about it myself, but if people aren't familiar about it, what does it involve exactly?
Yeah, so EFT tapping, it's the emotional freedom technique. So it's an energy psychology modality. So you can think of it, so the energy piece is you're actually tapping on the body on certain meridian points. And by doing that, you can access the subconscious and you're working on the nervous system.
Hmm.
And then the psychology part is that you're consciously working through what's going on as well. So you're processing it kind of on both levels.
Yeah.
So it's basically whatever's going on. It could be a story, it could be a belief and emotion. There's a process of basically you're literally tapping on certain meridian points on the body that helps it to clear and move through.
Yeah, I saw Nick Ortner first time do that. And of course, when we first see it, I'm like, what is he doing? This is ridiculous. And when I learned it, and to our listeners, you can look that up as far as the Tapping Solutions, his great book, Nick Ortner. And I was really influenced by it because I was breaking other habits too. And that goes in line with either alcohol or drugs or bad habits that we have, and just doing his solutions. And that's exactly what you help with when it comes to eating and health and wellness, right?
Yeah, yeah, and EFT is funny. I mean, I still to this day sometimes I'm like, this is so funny,
I know,
and when I
right?
first
We're doing
yeah,
this
it's
and
funny, right?
everything else, and people saw you
Yeah,
on the street, they'd be, more and more this holistic community is turning in the past 5 years, especially. So we see people meditating, it's normal. But if you saw that 5 or 10 years ago, it's kind of weird. But you see people tapping, they're going to be like, "What is this person doing?"
yeah, exactly. And it does. It usually takes. I mean, sometimes depending on the client, it takes a couple sessions for them to get the hang of it.
Mhm.
And one of the main things that happen when you release is you yawn. So it's a way that the body releases energy. And so clients I find will try to hold it in and be like embarrassed that they're yawning. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want you to think I'm not like tired. I'm like, no, 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 let it out. That's exactly what we want to happen.
Okay, I never noticed that. Yeah. So in the middle, how long are these EFT sessions too? When you sit down, is it 5 minutes or so, or how long?
It totally depends. I mean, I normally work with clients for an hour and a half
Hmm.
because we're kind of getting into, like I said, we're digging deep, and then we're doing tapping, and then we might talk about it more, and then tap again. So I bring a lot of different things into my session.
Okay.
So my session's an hour and a half. But yeah, you can, in the moment, you can tap on anything. You're feeling anxiety, before an interview or before anything.
Hmm.
You can tap in the moment, and you can also use tapping to do that deeper work as well.
Okay. And you mentioned some of the mind body connection that you're getting more into. So you're helping people with their eating habits and that. But maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you're growing into in your business and what you're doing at the next step here.
Yeah, so I really see that the body is our greatest source of wisdom, and that it's a messenger. So a lot of times we're relating to like health issues or symptoms as, again, there's something wrong, we need to fix it, get rid of it. And I see it as the body is speaking to us. So there's a way we can go within and start to listen to what our body is telling us through health, and create a new relationship with it, and actually see that there's a gift
Hmm.
in whatever health issue that we're having, whether it's an illness, whether it's a pain, really whatever it is, there is some wisdom in there for us that's trying to tell us something about our life. And when we can see it that way, there's an opportunity. So versus having to fix it and change it, there's wisdom and an invitation.
Exactly. And you mentioned like a doorway to transformation. I like that. When we were discussing, it's just like the next door. We have to open that door and put our past behind us. Because I find a lot of my eating habits, when I personally stopped alcohol 4 years ago, I needed sweets. I needed something to fill that. And I didn't know for the first year until a couple cavities set in that I was
Yeah.
addicted to sugar. And that's been the worst. I maybe get a couple, some feedback from you about sugar, because when I'm going through this transformation and when you're helping women in hard times or just growing in life, uh,
Mm-hmm.
sugar and how bad it is. Just tell us a little feedback on your experience with sugar and maybe how you work with people and how you broke it yourself even.
Yeah, so looking at sugar, and of course there's absolutely the physical addiction and all the brain chemistry mechanisms for sure. So I really look at it more from the emotional standpoint and the emotional significance. And so sugar is about, wanting life to be sweeter. It can be about us wanting ourselves to be sweeter. So if we have lack of, self-worth or confidence, then it can be us trying to be sweeter. It's often that craving comes up a lot when we're not wanting to feel sadness or grief. So again, as that cover up. Also, if we're craving more me time or like a reward, right? So we're not nurturing ourselves, and then the end of a long day, we're exhausted and our gas tank is empty, and we're going to reach for sugar to reward ourselves or feel better. So it's usually coming from a place of feeling depleted, not having enough joy in our lives, not having enough connection. Those are like the main.
I kind of related it to feeling a void. I was avoiding reality. I was escaping through alcohol, stopped, and then I was still avoiding things and not realizing you said it, right at 4 or 5 o'clock at the end of the day, this feeling would come in. Okay, I need to relax, or I deserve this. It was the exact same thing beer was before. It was like beer, and now I need the sugar because beer and alcohol are sugar. So by people like myself stopping that, they need your help in really breaking that habit.
And so a mentor and I had actually created archetypes for cravings, and for sugar we called it the dreamer.
The dreamer.
So like you said, it's like we're not living the life that we want. So there often is a lot of sadness and grief, and we're not feeling fulfilled. And so that sugar is like the dreamer, like wanting things to be different.
And I remember I had your help about this time last year, and I stopped for 5 weeks, and I was doing good, and kind of reminds me of the AA thing where you fall off and people laugh at it, but it can be a deadly disease. As you know, you probably work with people with diabetes or other problems that have, hurt their life dramatically, right? And it can be life-threatening, literally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks, Faith. And also tell our listeners about how to contact you, your website, and any other information you'd like to give out.
So my website is just my name, faithshevlin.com, and most people spell it wrong, so it's Shevlin. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I just started actually a YouTube series called Own Your Body, the Loving Path series. So I'm actually I'm interviewing other coaches, that I'm aligned with, sharing the message that I'm here to share, which really is shifting that mindset of needing to fix and change. There's nothing wrong. Really creating a loving relationship with our bodies and ourselves. So that's something that I just started a couple months ago.
Yeah, and that's perfect in line with New Foundation's growth group and just bringing coaches and people together to talk about and find out exactly what other coaches are doing, work with them and helping others transform their life. Transformational specialists like you are, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks, Faith. It was great talking to you, and I hope our listeners got a lot out of this. You can contact her directly on her website there, and take care, Faith, and have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.